Hymn Society members, this is Roy Belfield at Hampton Baptist Church in Hampton, Virginia. I'm so glad to be with you today, and thank you, Brian Hain, for the invitation to share a few of my thoughts about interludes today. You will hear our 1975 Zimmer organ. It is a 50-rank tracker instrument. And with that being said, let's talk about what I do regarding interludes. Just want to offer a few suggestions and what I call tricks of the trade for playing interludes. A couple of rules that I do follow. I don't always feel the need to play an interlude. I try not to be predictable on Sunday mornings, and I don't always feel the need to change keys. And I promise to share a complete handout of other suggestions in a more elaborate way that may help you with your worship services. But today I want to focus on the hymn, Come Christians Join to Sing, tune, Spanish hymn. And there are three ways that I create a simple interlude. And we all know sometimes we just don't have the time to make up our own interludes in an elaborate way, but if you need something on the spot, this is what I would recommend. There are three possibilities. First, I would say make sure you have a collection of hymnals. I have about 30 hymnals in my office, so if you want to change keys and you're not comfortable actually playing in another key, just have those hymnals in front of you or Xerox it as I do sometimes. So let's take the hymn, Come Christians Join to Sing. And I want to do it first in G major. Sometimes you'll find a hymn in one key and you want to change keys, but it may be too high, or you just want to take it down another step. Just for comfort level. Just be mindful of your vocal ranges. Something should not exceed perhaps E5 or go below B flat 3, I think. So I would start in G. Just for example, if I wanted to start this particular hymn in G, it's normally in A flat major. But to start it in G, and to move to the next step, which would be A flat, usually I would take it up to A flat, which is the key that you usually find in the hymnals. The simplest way is to keep the common tone of G and use that in relationship to A flat major. G, of course, is a part of that, G natural, that is a part of that key signature. So, for example, keep the G, add the seventh, which is F, in the key of G, and that leads me to E flat, which is the 5 chord in A flat major. It does help to have a little theory under your belt along with a good ear. So that particular process, again, seventh, and moving on, and so forth. So that's the simplest way. It's a direct key change, not necessarily a modulation, but it gets you right into the next key. The other possibility is to take a key with the same letters. For example, if you want to move from A flat to A major, again, keep plenty of hymnals around you, and keep in mind, I always say less is more. So what I do in a bind, you could always use octaves or a single line to get you to another key. For example, I took the opportunity to play the melody in octaves with pedal, and I used the chromatic step there to get from A flat major D flat, D takes you to E, and here again, E is the 5 chord in A, and off you go. This particular process calls for adjusting the key signature. It's another simple way. You're looking at the same notes or letters per se, you just have to adjust the key signature. And finally, as I said before, there's not a need to change keys all the time to transpose or to modulate. Sometimes I keep the same key, but you can manipulate the rhythm and or the rhythm. For example, if I want to get from A flat and stay in A flat, that is, I would just kind of manipulate the rhythm and the melody, and it helps to sing too. And you have to experiment with different options that you have. Keep the very same harmonies, and I experimented with the melody. Sometimes you have to write down these ideas too. It does help to sing. Every teacher, every keyboard teacher I've studied with has encouraged me to sing those melodies. I would encourage you also to change pistons on the beat, and you have to practice that consistently. And as I said before, experiment, 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 sing to be creative with your melodies. And I usually, sometimes, will write out my improvisations or my interludes rather, just to make sure I don't forget what I want to do. It could be as simple as a melody or a few harmonies, just so I have that under my belt. I usually do not do interludes if the hymn is not as familiar, just to keep the emphasis on the hymn. So the more familiar the hymn, the more I do with it. My motto is always less is more. And I think interludes take on the personality of the organist. So I usually try not to let my interludes be a distraction, or as I say, become a recital piece. So the emphasis should be on the beauty of the hymn. And again, this is my personal belief, and I would never use an interlude to show off my improvisational skills. So I hope this little demonstration helps you. And again, thank you, Brian, for the invitation. Happy interluding.